everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the challenge. If you're here with me live, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know you're here. If you're not connected to StreamYard, drop your name as well so I can see who's commenting live with me. And if you're here catching the replay, drop a hashtag replay and let me know so I can know who is watching. So we can go ahead and just dive right into day 2 challenge. So yesterday was a little bit long. Hopefully today won't be as long, and I'm just going to dive right into a few different breathing exercises that I find really helpful when I'm feeling stressed or anxious. So the first one is diaphragmatic breathing. It's also known as a belly breath, and we actually breathe like this when we are babies, believe it or not. I had no idea. But it's all about noticing the breath in your stomach, in your belly, by, you can put a hand on your belly, one on your chest, and notice the rise and fall as you breathe in deeply, noticing the air inflating your belly, and then as you exhale, it releasing back towards your spine. It's a really relaxing breathing practice, and especially if you can start to tune into the awareness of how your belly and how that breath is moving through your body. If you've tried this, feel free to drop a comment and let me know. It's definitely one of my favorites. The best way to do this practice is on your back, so you can really feel your stomach inflate and deflate, basically. And then the next breathing exercise is this 2 times breath. So it's just simply doubling the exhale for your inhale count. So inhaling for a count of 3, you would exhale for a count of 6, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you can just adjust these numbers to a breath that feels comfortable for you. Maybe you are 4 and 8, maybe you're 2 and 4. But you get the idea. Very simple, great way to just focus in on your breathing and awareness of your breath in your body. One today that I'd like to talk about is the alternate nostril breathing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. If you are, drop a comment and let me know. I love this one because if you have a busy mind and busy hands and body, you might want to move around and do something while you're just sitting and breathing. So this is the perfect exercise for that. I really enjoyed this one. So because this one's a little more tricky, I'll actually guide you through this one before we get into our the rest of the presentation. So we'll go ahead and find a comfortable seat at the edge of your chair so your feet can be firmly planted on the ground. Your hips and your sit bones are grounded into the seat beneath you. Your hips are in alignment with your shoulders, and your head is over your shoulders. Your chin is like parallel to the ground, so you're, sitting up tall, creating a long spine, relaxing your shoulders down by your ears, or relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Soft belly, breathing in. So this is the setup for a nice, easy, long breath. So we will take our right hand, and we're just going to place our right thumb over our right nostril. And we can inhale through the left nostril. And then you're going to place your ring finger over your left nostril. And then exhale out the right nostril. And this hand gesture, you can use this with your 2 fingers, like your pointer and your middle finger, coming up kind of to the space between your eyebrows. This is one I often use. I think originally and technically it's supposed to be like these fingers, your pinky and your middle and pointer finger, come down to the palm, and you like switch nostrils this way. It's a little bit harder, but if you can do that, awesome. Or if neither of those are comfortable, you can also kind of do this like hang 10 sign, where right hand goes over your right nostril and your pinky goes over your left nostril. So finding a pattern that works for you. But we'll go ahead and continue on finding whichever hand gesture works for you. We'll place that right thumb over the right nostril, inhaling through that left nostril. sealing that left nostril and exhaling out through the right. Inhaling through that right nostril. And then exhaling out the left. Inhaling through the left nostril. Sealing the left and exhaling out the right. Inhaling through the right. And then exhaling out through the left. Inhaling through the left. Sealing that nostril and exhaling out the opposite. Inhaling through the right nostril. Sealing and then exhaling out the left. Inhaling through the left nostril. Sealing that and exhaling out the right nostril. And you can go ahead and lower your hands back to your lap. Just noticing how your breath feels in this moment, how your mind is feeling. Perhaps you want to continue this practice for a little bit longer, or maybe that was just enough for now. And whenever you're ready, if your eyes were closed, you can gently open them, and we will continue on through the rest of the challenge, which is how to make meditation a habit. So first is the why. We kind of already talked about several reasons why meditation and mindfulness is a wonderful practice to incorporate into your daily lives. But what is it that brings you here today? For me, it was finding a way to help manage my anxiety and stress. But then as I learned more about meditation and mindfulness and all the benefits that it can have, I kind of broadened that awareness and just wanted to, in general, practice more mindfulness and, kind of, I guess, increasing my happiness and joy in the present moment. So that is why I continue returning back to my practice. But there's a lot of different reasons, and they're unique to you and your circumstances. But I would like for you to reflect on what brings you here. And this is your why. And then how we make a habit is how are we going to do it? What are we going to do? How can we incorporate this into our daily lives? So I have a few tricks, and one of them is setting realistic time limits. So if you're new to meditation, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes every day. No mess ups, nothing. Be realistic with yourself and how much time you actually have to contribute. Maybe you just want to start small, finding a couple breaths here, minute or 2 minute meditations, and then slowly working your way up to a time limit that is nourishing for you or convenient for your schedule. I'll also say that you are at liberty to practice whenever you want, right? But I think that the morning practice has been really helpful for me because I have, the day just doesn't get in the way. It's also a really wonderful way to kind of set up the trajectory for the rest of your day, set up your intentions, how you plan to move through the day, mindfully and in the present moment. It's a great way to start your morning, especially if you wake up with anxiety in the morning as well. That is one thing that I've experienced when I just have a lot going on. I feel so anxious and stressed. So I find a morning practice helps keep me a little more grounded throughout the day. And another trick is just accepting your practice as it is. It's not a journey to perfection, but it's a journey just to self-awareness. Not your practice will look different each day. And learning to accept how that practice shows up for you in that day and what emotions and feelings show up. And being able to accept that is what is going to be able to keep you coming back to your mat or to wherever you meditate or practice mindfulness. And then another tip that I have is having a dedicated space. I personally, after I walk my dog and feed him, I love rolling out my yoga mat, setting up my cushion, sitting on my mat and my cushion to meditate for at least 10 to 15 minutes or longer, depending on the day and what's going on. And so having that dedicated space can be helpful to kind of set the base or set the boundaries of what you're doing in that moment. But it's not necessarily required. I found it helpful. And so perhaps the next one is paradoxical in that changing it up. And this is really about looking at all the different meditations available. So there's walking meditations, mindful eating practices, nighttime meditations, as well as morning meditations, just breathing practices, yoga, moving meditations. There's just such a large variety of different types of meditations that I encourage you, if one becomes stale or not as valuable to you, or you're getting tired of it, try a different type or try a different instructor. If one instructor isn't speaking to you, that doesn't mean that you're not meant for meditation or that you're not good at it. It just means that maybe this instructor caters to a specific group of people more than you do. So you just need to go and look at all the different instructors out there or read books. There's lots of material available out there for that as well. And so making it a habit is, allow yourself to be flexible and do different types of meditations. I really like walking meditations because that's an easy one to do. And it's one where you're just being mindful of how you're walking and how your body is feeling at that moment. And that's such an easy way to incorporate it into your daily life that you don't really, need a dedicated space necessarily. Next time you're walking to the bathroom, you could start to walk more mindfully, you know what I mean? So there's these small moments that we can include into our daily life to make us more present and more grounded in what we're doing and keeping it up as a habit. So with that, this concludes the day 2 presentation, I guess, live session. So the activity is I'd like for you to journal on what is your why, the purpose that you're coming to meditation for. And I did want to back up and say too that maybe it's also perhaps paradoxical in that on meditation, you're not necessarily trying to get anywhere, right? You're again coming back to yourself and becoming just aware and present in this moment and observing what comes up for you. However, with this continued practice, perhaps you'll start to see signs of increased happiness or reduced stress and anxiety, those types of things. But having a reason why you want to keep coming back to it is really helpful in keeping to that habit, as well as writing down exactly how you will make your habit happen. How often are you going to do it? What's your time limit? What spaces are you going to do? How many days of a week are you going to do it? Daily, every other day? Play around and see what works for you. And so for the challenge activity, I would like for you to practice one of the 3 meditations that we discussed today. So diaphragmatic breathing or belly breath. I've linked in this presentation, I'll drop the PDF as well. So I've linked an example of a belly breathing exercise, as well as an alternate nostril breathing exercise, one that I've actually created. But both of these you can find really easily online if you just Google and find a guided practice if you choose to do that. There's also the 2 times breath. And if none of these speak to you today, go back to the box breathing, see how that feels today. And whenever you're done with that, comment below done when you finish this video. And if you finish this practice, I want you to comment down and let me know how it goes for you. So thanks everyone for joining me live here today. And if you're catching the replay, drop a hashtag replay. Let me know how it's feeling for you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.